Hey everyone, just doing a final audio check. So if you can let me know in the chat box that you can hear me loud and clear, give me a thumbs up, give me a hell yes, give me something in the chat box to know that you can hear me. We'll be getting going shortly, anytime second now, because there's a few people just finishing watching the football, England versus Belgium. So give us a hell yes, give us a quick comment in the question box. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. All right, what's up, everybody? Just that last final audio check. Can you hear me loud and clear? My PowerPoint decided to crash a few seconds ago, so just reset everything. So give me a hands up, raise your hands up, give me a hell yes in the comment box. And also, tell me where you guys are from today. I'm in beautiful San Diego today. I was in New York yesterday, in San Diego today. I'm hanging out here for a week before heading off to Sydney. So where are you guys in the world today? Let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the comment box. I'd love to know where everyone is. And also make friends with each other, because we're here for a full 60 minutes, people. Full 60 minutes. So sip of water. Let me know in the chat box where you're from. I'm glad you can hear me. And just let me know as well if you can see the slide. It should say real simple results on the slide. All right, Giants from New Jersey. Well, I was over the water in Manhattan yesterday afternoon. So greetings from New Jersey, from San Diego, New Jersey. John from Michigan. Hey, Michigan. Hey, John, how you doing? Great to have you here. Any fellow Brit in the house? Anyone from the UK in the house? Or anyone from Australia? Let us know. Don't be shy. We're all friends here. Pismo Beach, California. Oh, all right. Scott from California. Fantastic. Irish, but living in Cardiff. That's okay. You're living in one of the best cities in the world, Stephen. Spent 5 whole years of my life living in Cardiff, so fantastic. There's also Cardiff here in San Diego as well, Cardiff Beach. which I always find amusing because it's way hotter than it is in Cardiff and a lot less rainy. So there we go. All right, last few people coming on in, which is fantastic. We'll get going shortly. Okay, I'll go to the next slide. Let me know if you can see the next slide to make sure this is all working. You should see the ultimate guide to cardio, what everyone aged 30 plus ought to know about cardiovascular training for improved athletic ability and living a pain-free active lifestyle. That's what we're here about here today. We're all here to learn about the Strength Matters philosophy towards cardio training. Okay, who here hates cardio, or who here loves cardio? Who here is currently training for cardio at the moment? Let us know in the chat box. Let me know what sort of stuff you're doing. If you're not doing any cardio, just say you're not doing any cardio at the moment. That's okay. I just want to help you and clear up some myths today, share some topics, share some info, share some workouts and some ideas for you guys to go away with here. So, but who's here doing? James says very little. It's okay. Oh, Chris says training for his first marathon. Fantastic. John says cardio equals lifting weights faster. Ha, well, we'll bring this topic up very, very soon. Scott says 5K row 3 days a week. All right, fantastic. Cool. Okay, so let's dive on in. So the ultimate guide to cardio. So now, before I get going and get into this, now this is a whole day's topic. If we're doing our events and courses, you know, this is, in fact, it's not even a day. This is about a 3 to 5 day sessions. So please understand that I'm going to go over the basics and try and cover as much as I can in 60 minutes so you get an idea and the philosophy of how we do things. It's not going to be in depth as much as I'd like, but I'll do my very best to answer as many questions here. If you do have questions, please use the Q&A box at the top of your screen or at the bottom of your screen, depending on what you're using. That way I can keep track of every single person who asks a question and answer them at appropriate times. Is that okay? All right, so let's get going. Now, I always say this to everybody who joins in with us and wants to be a part of this, is that this whole webinar is for everyday people age 30 plus who want to create sustainable and lifelong change. This is not for people who want six-pack abs in 6 weeks. I'm so sorry. Or they want to put 300 pounds of muscle on in 24 hours. This isn't for you. This is for people who want lifelong change and thinking about the bigger picture. But it doesn't mean that we're sacrificing performance. We talk about athleticism, but not at the expense of the health and longevity. We still want to perform, but health and longevity comes first. The two actually go hand in hand. So if you want to live pain-free and have an active lifestyle and you want to reclaim your athletic body back, this is a webinar for you. If it's not for you, don't worry, we'll start part as friends, but I just want to be clear who this webinar is targeted for. So one thing, if this is your first time, or if you're here with us now, please stay to the end and I'll show you how to get our full assessment system for free. It's a $49 product we give away. So if you stay to the end, I'll give it to you for free, just for listening to the sweet sounds of my voice. Is that okay with everyone? Give me a thumbs up, give me a hand raise, give me something along those lines. Let me know that you're interested and would like to get this, if not already. All right, Scott says, raise hand. Here we go. So, life after 30. Who here on this webinar today is over the age of 30 years old? I am. Hopefully everyone here is cool. John, James, everyone's fantastic. So who here can agree that life, when you hit 30, starts to change? You're not as young, you're not that young whippersnapper you used to be. Things start to ache, things start to take longer to heal. Things have to be slightly more adapted to how you train, and from hangovers to training routines, everything takes a little bit longer. And apparently when you hit 40, 50, 60, that increases over time. So what I've realized, and for myself, I'm 36 years old now, is that I've had to modify and change our training. And it's been a bit of a life-changing experience when we're working with clients as well, to understand and really appreciate what it's like to hit this period in our life. So what I'm showing them personal experience, I'm showing how we work with clients. All this information hopefully will resonate with you guys who are over 30, or if you're under 30 and want to know how to train people, hopefully you can take some ideas from this webinar. So anyone here experienced something similar? Slowing down, hurting a little bit more, taking you longer to recover from things? Anyone else like me, or is it just me? Joanna says yes. Good, I'm glad I'm not the only one. But it doesn't mean that we can't perform better than we ever have done before. We just have to train a little bit smarter. So some of you now may be struggling with your current training routine and not seeing results with your cardio. Don't worry. that quite literally is okay. It's not your fault. There is so much information, misinformation about fitness in general, to be honest with you, but in particular about cardio. So what I want to do today is cut through all that BS, cut through everything, get to the nitty-gritty, just share the information that's relevant from our experience and from what we really know, so there's no more confusion about health or about cardio, not about health. Okay, so don't worry if you're struggling with cardio results. I'm going to help you put together a structure and a plan so you can go away with and have an idea and a better understanding of what you can do to improve upon that. So the point is, you can still turbocharge your heart after the age of 30. Okay, you still can. You can get fitter, stronger, more cardiovascularly aware still after the age of 30. Just a case of knowing how to do it. That's what we're going to do today. All right. So my goal today is threefold. Number one is I'm going to do cardio myth busting 101 and destroy some common cardio misconceptions. That's my first goal today. Goal number two is share with you the Strength Matters Layer 2 cardiovascular assessments. I wanted you to have an appreciation of what our assessments are, understand what is enough cardio, and see how you stack up in comparison. And number three is I want to show you how to put the perfect cardio plan together for everyday athletes so you can start having fun, play around, and do what you want with it, and hopefully turbocharge your heart. So, but first, who here in the chat box, who's here is on their first time listening to me speak? Who's here for the first time on a webinar? Please let me know. So, okay, Stephen, first time live. Scott, thank you very much. Scott and Stephen, let me know. So, James, first time. Okay, fantastic. Chris, first time. Okay, cool. So, for those who are not here in the first time, I will share just a little bit of background about who I am very, very quickly, so you guys can know who I am and what I've done. So, oh, hang on. My PowerPoint has decided to crash again. Hang on. Bear with me. It's going to crash. It'll come straight back up. Bear with me, people. I'm still here. Don't you worry. My PowerPoint just crashed again for the second time today. Wonder why that is. All right. So come on, PowerPoint. Don't you just love live recordings and doing this all live? So let me share the screen. Right. There we go. Let's put it back on live. Bring you all up. Don't worry, guys. If you're listening or coming in now, I've just lost my PowerPoint because it crashed. I'm just pulling it back up right now. So there we go. Let's get back to where I am. Okay. So life to 30, not your fault. Those are my goals. But first, here I am. For those who are new here to me today and want to see who I am, that's me on the left-hand side. That was taken in Chicago 2 or 3 years ago. That's a pretty portrait when I didn't have hair. I now have hair because my Polish barber told me never to shave it ever again because I have hair and therefore I should keep it. But also that's me on the right-hand side. At the age of 5 years old, I was that fat kid until I discovered sports and team sports. I grew up on a farm in Wales. I'm a farmer's son of a farmer, growing up in mid-Wales in the middle of nowhere. The town I was born up in was a place called Machynlleth. So my first language is Welsh for those listening in and for those in from Cardiff today. So that's who I am. Massive fan of snowboarding, love the outdoor lifestyle, live up for the mountains, live for snowboarding, live for team sports, rugby, cricket, all these wonderful things. I train to be living outdoors and living my life to the best possible I can. That is one of only a couple of photos of me that exist from the Metropolitan Police in London. That's the end of the London riots in 2019. So from my time as doing sports, time of growing up as a farmer's son, going to university, I ended up in the police for 10 years, and that is me at the end of the London riots, where I specialised on drugs and firearms and on the riot squad. So there you go. That's a little bit about me. And created Kettlebell Fever, and it's morphed into the world of Strength Matters today, and that's where I am. This is where I come from. I just want to give you guys a flavour of who I am and what my background is. I started training and being a personal trainer in the police in London. That's how I started, and this is how I morphed into it. It's not the usual route. So anyway, enough about me. That's just for those guys who've never met me before, just a little bit of background information to know who you're speaking to today. So this is my mission. This is the bigger mission I have in my life today, is that my goal and my mission is to help 10,000 everyday people aged 30 plus reclaim their athletic bodies and live a pain-free, active lifestyle. That is my mission. That is my goal. That is the whole purpose of doing these free webinars, is to try and influence and help as many people as I possibly can. So Who is ready to learn? Who's heard enough of me talking about the background stuff? Who's ready to learn? Give me hands up. Fantastic, Stephen, couple of hands up. All right, brilliant. Okay, so we have a swig of water. Let's dive on in. So, now again, for those of you who are here on the first time, for those of you, I've got to give a quick recap of the Strength Matters hierarchy of athletic development. For those who've been here before, you've already seen this, but bear with me as I go through it because it's really important so you guys understand our framework and our system of working. I will try and be as quick as I can and concisely as possible. I should really get a timer actually to see how fast I can do this in with all the relevant information. So here we go. The word athleticism is quite confusing. It's a very subjective word. Athleticism means different things for different people. So a couple of years ago, I went out and with the team, particularly Phil McDougall, and we created our own definition of athleticism. We've defined it as being, having 10 components. Those 10 components of athleticism are, in our opinion, balance and coordination, strength, speed, power. Balance and coordination, strength, speed, power. Those are the first 4 that we came up with. The next lot are stability, mobility, cardiovascular capacity, agility, stability, mobility, cardiovascular capacity, and agility. And then finally, the last 2 are mental resilience and endurance. Those are our 10 components. We felt there was nothing really definite. Everything around athleticism was very subjective, and we needed to define what is athleticism so we can start creating a system and a flow to how we train and work with people to be consistent and to help them become more athletic. My brain, my background is computer science. I have to work logically. This is the thought process behind this. So those are the 10 components. But, well, as I say here, so we believe that 10 components of athleticism equals complete fitness. That's what we think. We believe that everyday fitness, needs to make up of these 10 components. This is our system. This is our beliefs. This is how we start thinking about what we're doing. So with those 10 components, we had to try and prioritize certain things. So we created the hierarchy of athletic development. Some things are more important than others to begin with, but we feel quite strongly that they're all super important to be a healthy, athletic individual. So we grouped it into 3 layers, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Layer 1 is your foundation of your house. It is balance and coordination, mobility, stability. We need a strong foundation of movement and balance so we can create the next layer and create a good base for strength and cardiovascular capacity. Please note, we believe that cardiovascular capacity is as important as strength, okay, and vice versa. That's why they're both together in layer 2. And then once you've had and earned the right from layer 1 and layer 2, we can go into layer 3 and play with the fun stuff where everyone wants to jump to is power, agility, endurance, and speed. Mental resilience oversees absolutely everything. Is everyone with me? Does everyone understand where we're at? If you're here for the first time, does everyone understand what our beliefs and kind of an overview of our hierarchy of athletic development? Please let me know. If you have any questions, fire away in the Q&A box. This is just our framework so you guys can understand of what we're doing and how we're training. Today is all about cardio capacity. Just give me a hand raise, give me a thumbs up, give me something to make sure you guys are with me and understand what we're doing. All right, cool. So, as I said, as you can see in the table, we believe that strength is as important as cardiovascular capacity. Cardio is what we're talking about today. So I'm going to give you, we shared and talked about strength last week. This week, we're going to talk about cardio. But we believe they're just as important as each other. Very, very important. So within this hierarchy, within these individual items, we had to create different assessment categories to understand where people are at in each level. For each component, we have these 3 categories. For each layer, these also applies to each of the 3 categories. And they are rookie, explorer, and pro. You can be a rookie in layer 1. Okay, rookie in layer 1 means we don't progress to layer 2 because we need to earn the right to get to layer 2. You can be a pro in layer 1 and you can be a rookie in layer 2. It means you're a rookie overall in strength or cardio, depending on which one we test. Now, we can get funky. We can go in, if we're looking at strength and cardio, you can be a pro in strength and a rookie in cardio. You can also be a rookie in strength and a pro in cardio. Okay, this is just a brief overview of how we assess and what we're doing, and we'll go through the assessments for cardio later in today's presentation, but just an overview of how we work. So we use Rookie, Explorer, Pro as our 3 categories of assessments for each level, and they apply to each of the 10 components. So, but for the everyday athlete, the goal is health and longevity. We're not talking about performance. We are and we're not. The goal is to have a healthy everyday athlete. We're looking at the bigger picture. We're looking to how to make this better when we're 80 years old. So this is very important. We're looking to have healthy individuals, healthy everyday athletes. What we like to talk, and this is our first Star Wars reference, is we want balance in the force. In this hierarchy, in this athletic table of athletic development, we want to create balance in the force. We need to have a balanced athlete, a balanced structure, but a lot of the times people don't tend to be balanced. They tend to be strong in certain things and weaker in other things, which puts everything off balance. So here's what we know. To get results, we need to train consistently, avoid injury, and we believe we need to have balance in the force. This is our beliefs. This is how we think. To get results, we need to train consistently, avoid injury, and have balance in the force. This is how we believe. This is how we think. And it applies to cardio programming as well. So if we don't, my friend and good mentor, Mark Rifkin, talks about the tough guy training cycle. Who here can relate to this? You train hard, you train harder, you train even harder. You become injured, frustrated, give up, repeat, repeat, repeat. Who here can relate to this tough guy training cycle? I love this analogy. You can thank Mark Rifkin for this analogy. Who here can relate? I certainly can. This has been my life all throughout my 20s. I certainly want to try and avoid it again. But here's something to think about. A lot of people go through this, and it's, it can be frustrating. So we're trying to avoid this, is what I'm trying to say. So we're talking about cardio today, so I'll give you an example of a runner. Okay, now before anyone shouts at me or starts accusing me or starts sending letter bombs to my house, this is a sweeping generalization. This is not true for every single people, but it can be a sweeping generalization when we think about it like this. So if we take the hierarchy of athletic development, when we see and we have many runners coming to us, we tend to see the table or the hierarchy like this. They have an abundance of endurance. A runner can run for miles, they can run marathons, they can do ultra marathons. They have an abundance of endurance. However, when we test them and we look at them, we see they have no layer 1 foundation. They lack balance and coordination. They certainly lack a lot of mobility. And also they lack strength. And believe it or not, they lack cardiovascular capacity. Ooh, fire engine's going past over here. I hope everyone's okay. So they lack cardio capacity. Now, what do I mean by this? If you're a 10K runner, if you're a marathon runner, what we tend to see is a lot of people come to us and when we test a 1 mile run, their 1 mile run time is the same time as if they're running 10 miles or half a marathon. They can't change gear. They can't get out of this thing. They can run for 10 miles solidly at a certain pace. You ask them to run a mile quickly, they'll struggle. We have multiple examples of this, and we're working with, I'll name names, but one guy who can run a really, really quick 10K, but his 1 mile run time is exactly the same as his 1 mile flat out time. So cardio capacity and endurance are 2 separate things. You still with me? I haven't lost anyone, and please tell me if I've offended anyone, because I didn't mean to, but the point was I'm just trying to give you a visual picture, an idea of how we think and how we work. We can do this for yogis, we can do this for strength people, powerlifters, all sorts, but this is what we tend to see as a sweeping generalization. Please give me a thumbs up if it's okay to continue. All right, perfect, thanks guys. So, in an ideal world, this is what we want the everyday athlete to look like. We want an everyday athlete to be able to handle anything that life throws at them or comes their way. We want the everyday athlete to be amazing when they're 80 years old. So it means in an ideal world, we're going to create a solid layer 1, solid layer 2, and a solid layer 3, all stacked up neatly, nicely like that. That's just a visual representation of how we train people and how we want to get people to be in the long haul. So, any questions so far? It's a quick recap of who we are and what we do. Any questions so far about our table and how we're doing things? If it's a no, just give me a simple no. If it's a yes, pop in the box. This is perfect timing to ask some questions first. All right. No, no, no. Everything's clear. Fantastic. Okay, cool, guys. Let me have a sip of water. All right, let's continue. So, there are 3 secrets to cardio training. These are the 3 secrets. These are the 3 things that we're going to be talking about today. They are, number 1, don't believe everything you read about cardio training. Cardiovascular capacity is as important as strength training. This is secret number 1, okay? Don't believe everything you read about cardio training. In fact, this can go for fitness in general. Please have an open mind. Please think about what you're reading. Don't take things with a pinch of salt until you can experience and try things out for yourself, because there's a lot of misinformation about everything out there. Hopefully, we can provide some clarity today and we can bring some talking points up. Please take this with a pinch of salt as well, just, until you've done your research. But the point is, don't believe everything you read about cardio training, but here we believe is that cardio is just as important as strength training. Secret number 2, there are 5 essential factors and considerations that go into all cardio training plans before you do any cardio plan, okay? There are 5 essential factors and considerations that go into all cardio training plans. And secret number 3, there are 2 main principles for effective cardiovascular plans. They are blood flow restriction and programming recovery. This, people, is our secret sauce. This is how we do all of our cardio plans. We create them around blood flow restriction and programming recovery. Those are our 2 thought processes. I'll go into that into a bit more depth later on. So, bonus secret for those of you there, stay to the end and I'll tell you all about it. So there's a bonus secret right at the very end, but only if you stay to the end and listen to me jabber on about cardio training. So, again, one last time, questions, or are we ready to dive straight on in? Sip of water. Okay, let's get your stopwatch. No questions, all good. All right. For those who are listening on YouTube Live, welcome as well. We'll get straight on in. So, secret number 1, don't believe everything you read about cardio training. All right. So, what is cardio? What is cardio training? Could someone in the group just have a quick message in a few words, simple words, tell me what cardio training is? I will explain our version in a second, what we believe it is and what the general philosophy is and how we teach it. But anyone here want to say what is cardio? I'll give it a couple of seconds in case you want to type in the box. James, monitoring training the lungs and heart. Awesome. That's a good way to put it. Any other thoughts? Either or, no worries, I'll dive straight on, because here's what we define what is cardio. We need the ability to deliver oxygen to the muscles. Thanks, Todd. That's fantastic. So here's essentially what we've broken it into. Now, before I dive into what it is, now please understand, our philosophy is this, is that if you can't explain it to a 6-year-old, you don't understand it yourself. That's our philosophy. We abide by real, simple results. We'll make things as simple as possible. We can write, if you go into our instructor courses and manuals, you've got 50 pages about this. I'm just condensing it very quickly today. But what is cardio? It's essentially, cardiovascular training is intentional exercise that improves the ability of the heart, lungs, and blood vessels to deliver oxygen to the rest of the body. That's essentially what cardio training is. Cardio is intentional exercise that improves the ability of the heart, lungs, and blood vessels to deliver oxygen to the rest of the body. Quite simply, that's just the way we've defined it, as simple as we possibly can. Now, here's what we know. A stronger, more elastic heart improves the function of all other processes in the body. A stronger, more elastic heart improves the processes of all other processes in the body. This is what the importance of training the heart is. Here's the problem. Here's the biggest problem that's still standard and across the world today. Heart disease is still the biggest killer in Western society every year, with 1 in 4 deaths. In America, it related to 725,000 people last year. We don't really talk about this. We talk about strength training. Everyone talks about strength training a lot and getting fit and healthy, but this is fact. This is science. This is what they're proving, what the research is now saying. Heart disease is still the biggest killer in Western society. I personally believe, from just my own experience and what I've seen around the world as well, is that training the heart is something that's slightly misunderstood. So I'm trying to help clarify things on here. Who here is, who's aware of this? Who is seen this kind of fact in this stat before? Who's slightly scared by it? Let me know. But anyway, the point is this. This is what's happening, and this is what we know today. Is that heart disease is still the biggest killer in Western society every year, with 1 in 4 deaths. Cardio is as just important as strength. I keep saying this, keep reiterating this point, but it's just as important as strength training. That's our philosophy, that's our beliefs, and we need a strong, healthy, functioning heart, okay, to work with us. So here are just some of the benefits of cardio training that you need to know and understand why we want to prioritize cardio training. Number one, cardio training has a huge positive impact on the density of mitochondria within our cells. Mitochondria create energy. More mitochondria equals more energy, equals higher metabolism, equals better body composition. Who would like that? Who wants that? Who thinks that's a good idea? All of it. Just give me a thumbs up, hands up. This is one of the main benefits, okay? This is what we do. This is why we cardio train. This is the essential factors here of what it does. Take away the body composition, in fact, higher metabolism. Hell, I'd love to. I want to eat more stuff always. I love eating food. Same wise, I need more and want more energy. Better body composition is a nice side effect, but this is the truth. This is the absolute truth. So that's fact number one. Number two, a higher cardiovascular capacity improves rate of recovery in all forms of activity of exercise, including strength and power. Just think about this for a second. For anyone who are strength people out there who think, cardio makes you weak, I'm going to think about this for a second. A higher cardiovascular capacity improves your rate of recovery in all forms of activity of exercise, including strength and power. What this means is you can recover quicker between sets. Recovering quicker between more sets allows you to do more volume. Who knows that volume is one of the most important factors when it comes to strength training? We want to improve your heart's the rate of recovery faster so that we can allow you to recover quicker when we're strength training. That is why we do it. That's why we think it's just as important. If you're in the Navy SEALs, this is. I was with them before Christmas, and I was talking to them about their number one priority, the number one thing they're looking for from recruits coming through to try and pass and try and make it through as a Navy SEAL. Their test is number one test that shows the likelihood of someone passing the BUDS test and going through Hell Week is their 3-mile run times. Not push-ups, not deadlifts, not nothing else. Their 3-mile run time. If they can run 3 miles in sub 18 minutes, if they can run 18 minutes or in 3 miles in 18 minutes, they have an 86% chance of passing BUDS and Hell's Week. Because if they can do that, they can perform better under pressure because they can recover quicker than anybody else. That's just something really to think about and something that's proven. There's stuff on the line as well. You can read about that, but that's really important. Number three, cardiovascular training increases the blood and muscles' capacity to hold oxygen. The more oxygen that is being pumped through the blood vessels, the more fat is utilized for energy without having to exercise. Who wants to burn more fat? Who wants to do all these wonderful things? Now, I'm just showing you three facts that science can tell us, but these are just three common things, okay? So these are just cool things that you need to know why cardio is important, the benefits of what you do with it. So, myth busting 101. Any activity that raises the heart is cardio training. What are your thoughts on that, people? Myth, yes or no? Yes or no? No matter what, just share away the question, yes. All right, a couple of yeses from Todd and James. Oh, it's a myth. Okay, cool. Well, I put no, and before I just realized it may cause confusion. Yes, it is a myth. Any activity that raises the heart is cardio training. That's false. It's not true, okay? Cardio training it depends on the modality you do it with, because let's take lifting weights faster. Let's take kettlebell swings. Let's take things this. What we're trying to do is we're trying to improve the amount of blood that comes back to the heart. If you're lifting weights and you're under tension any times, the heart contracts and restricts the amount of blood flow going back into the heart. When it comes to cardio training, cardio equals running, rowing, jogging, cycling, walking briskly, jump, rope. That's essentially what we're doing, because it allows all the blood to come back into the heart. We're not being under tension. That's just very, very layman's terms. I'm trying to explain it, but the point is, weight training faster, lifting weights faster is not cardio, because the heart changes what it's doing. It's under tension and it restricts the amount of blood going back into it. So it's not true cardiovascular training. Can you get your heart rate up? Absolutely. Can you get a bit of a sweat on? Yes, you can, but it's not true cardio training. Okay, very, very important. So any activity that raises the heart is not cardio training. Only certain modalities, cycling, rowing, jogging, swimming, unloaded exercise is cardio training. Everyone with me, okay? I haven't lost anyone or offended, but this is what we're trying to talk about here. What we know is that the heart, if you're training just through strength and trying to lift weights faster, the way the heart grows and the way it strengthens is very different to how it strengthens when you're doing cardio. Unloaded cardio makes the heart become more elastic. Weightlifting, training the heart through extra weights and lifting weights faster, makes it much more dense, and it grows inwards, restricting the ability to pump blood out. Layman's terms, I'm not a big fan of science, or trying to explain science, but that's the idea behind it. Who's with me? Who understands what I'm talking about? It's making sense. Give me a hands up, give me a thumbs up. All right, a couple of thumbs up. All right, cool. So, very, very important. Cardio training equals jump rope, walking briskly, running, jogging, cycling, rowing. All these wonderful things. That is what cardio training is. Number two, I can figure out my max heart rates and heart training zones by using a formula. Who here uses formulas to configure their heart rates? Who here uses heart rate training zones and stuff like this to figure it out? Myth or fact? Yes or no? Let me know in the box. Well, I'll go ahead and tell you guys. Mafetone method, that's a good way of looking at things. But quite simply, if we go and stick to just the good old variable, 220 minus your age, it's basically myth. What we're talking about here now is that to test your heart rate, you need to test it. It's as simple as that. You need to test it out. You need to test it out and work it out. No real training zone or heart rate time thing kind of works. The Mafetone work is great, but if you're taking the standard, what most people are trying to use, 220 minus your age, it just doesn't work. And there's tests showing out there to prove otherwise. It's too inconsistent, particularly if you're working with rookies and you're working with rookie cardio people, because it just changes all over the place. They've got huge spikes, it changes everything. So to get your heart rate, you need to actually go and test it. We use the just simple active heart rate tests to figure out what our heart rates are. But the point is you need to go and test it. So when you're listening and seeing other heart rate methods and training zones out there, please look into the fact of seeing what they can. Mafetone is one of the best methods out there, I believe. You've got to look at, the 220 minus your age. It's been proven to not be consistent. So cardio makes you skinny fat. I'm going to go over and quickly and say this. No, sitting in a chair for 14 hours a day, driving to work, not doing any exercise, eating processed food and eating all the fast food you can think of. No, that makes you skinny fat. Cardio doesn't. It only has positive impacts for your heart, your health, and everything else in between. So, number 4, jogging is pathetic. Humans should either walk or sprint. That's the way we evolved. No, again, what we're trying to say is that jogging is the most effective way to get from A to B if you're outdoors. A lot of people trying to say that jogging is bad for you. Yes, jogging is bad for you if your body isn't conditioned to do it, if you're not ready to do it, or if you're pounding the pavements. We're not saying go and pound the pavements when you're jogging. That's the worst idea. That's why we talk about lots of marathon runners who go and learn how to run for the first time. They sign up to a marathon, they pound the streets. Their bodies are not conditioned to do that sort of thing. Jogging is fantastic. It's a great exercise. It's the most effective way to get from A to B, but your body needs to be conditioned and needs to be ready for it. So that's my preachiness going off today. I'm not talking about any more myths. I'm trying to cover some of the things that commonly come up and trying to hit them with you guys and share them with you. Any questions so far about any myths, facts, or figures before we get into the really meat and potatoes and just talk about how to train for cardio? Give me hands up, give me questions, let me know what's going on. All right, cool. I haven't lost anybody. I've lost a couple of people on the talk. I can see a few people have dropped off. Hopefully you guys can understand where I'm coming from and understand what I'm talking about. But hopefully this is our philosophy and our mindset when it comes to cardio. All right, cool. So let's continue. Secret number 2. There are 5 essential factors and considerations that go into all cardio training plans. There are 5 essential factors and considerations that go into all cardio training plans. Here we go. Number 1, hydration. Why is hydration important? Someone let me know in the chat box, why do we think hydration is important? John Victor, blood volume. Awesome. Absolutely. You know, that's nail it. Blood is pretty much 55 to 60% plasma, which is mostly made of water. When dehydrated, blood volume decreases. It's as simple as that. So, you know, then the heart must therefore increase so it can send the same required oxygenated blood to the working muscles. So we need to be hydrated before we do any cardio and CV type of training. Very, very important. Number 2, walk. Why is walking important? Why is walking important? Recovery, good point. Anything else? Basically, if we're not walking a minimum of 5,000 steps a day, how can you expect to have a consistent or improved cardiovascular capacity? You've got to be looking at the basics. We're talking about humans. Most of us, people lead very sedentary lives. The bare minimum for a rookie who's new to training is to walk 5,000 steps. In an ideal world, we need to be walking a minimum of 10,000 steps. Walking everywhere increases your cardiovascular capacity. It builds your baseline. It builds your ability to do more things. And over time, it keeps it, because it's all about the volume, how much you're doing unloaded. Very important. Walking is essential part of your day to be doing and improving your cardiovascular capacity. You need to walk a lot more and lead less sedentary lifestyles. Modality. As I spoke about before, modality is important. You need to jog, row, cycle, swim, or brisk walk or jump rope. Those are important. These are the 5 factors you've got to think about when putting together, you know, a good and the perfect cardio plan. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? Lifting weights faster is not a cardio training plan. It gets your heart rate up. Yes, it's a different style of training, not cardio training. Then you can pick a duration. Duration means any cardio program, any cardio training should not be less than 20 minutes. Ideally, it needs to be greater than 30 minutes long. Are you with me? Anything less than 20 minutes is not cardiovascular training. Ideally, every training modality, every cardio training session needs to be greater than 30 minutes. Who knew that, or who's new to this understanding? Who thought this was the case? Let me know. The more interactive you guys are, the more I can comment and feedback and share with you guys. Oh, John's got a good question. How is rowing an unloaded modality, and swimming for that matter? It's because, here we go. Very quickly, what you have is we're not restricting blood flow back into the heart. We're not restricting here. So when you're rowing, it's an unloaded thing because we're not restricting the blood flow back to the heart. It's the same with running. It's an unloaded exercise. I'm going to go into blood flow restriction training in a second, which may show what we mean by this, and for you to have a go out here. But just without going to too much detail here right now in the webinar, rowing is an unloaded form because it's not restricting blood coming back to the heart. Having a load and being under tension, because you're not really under tension, you're going back and forth, and same with swimming, it's not weight on top of you bearing down. So, anything else? All right, James says, I knew this was right for cardio. I've been told that HIIT was more effective, less likely to cause RSIs. High intensity training is again, something completely different. Like I said, we're focusing on the health of the heart right now and talking about here. Again, there's so many questions that come up and share with us here with you guys today. But like I said, There's so much information out there. We're trying to cut through certain things and go through. And then what I'll do at the end, guys, I'll try and share some more links so you guys can read up here and discuss and see what's going on more behind the scenes, because I can see all the questions. I can see where your head's going to and some of the stuff here now. But essentially what we're doing is trying to avoid tension on the heart. Rowing, swimming, those are things that reduce, that have no tension on the heart, restricting blood flow back in. When I show you my training plans later on, we'll be showing ways of restricting blood flow back to the heart to improve cardiovascular capacity. And like I said, HIIT training is something completely different. It's not cardio training, okay? This is what we need to do, not less than 20 minutes, ideally over 30 minutes. And most importantly, here is the frequency. Maintenance for cardio is 1 to 2 CV sessions per week. Improvement is 2 to 5 CV sessions per week. At a bare minimum, we need to be doing one form of CV training for maintenance for at least 20 minutes, at least once a week. Okay, so these are essential factors to give you a better understanding and overall view of what we're talking about and what we're thinking about. Before we put any plans together, here is what we need to do. Hydration, walk, modality, duration, frequency. They're all the 5 important factors to what we're trying to do to try and create healthy, everyday athletes. So, how much is enough cardio? Anyone here know what enough cardio is? Anyone here have their own standards for what enough cardio is? I'm just curious to see what you guys do, because I'm going to share what our standards are. Like I said, please, this is our standards and how we think about things. Chris says depends on the goal. Okay, cool. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, because like I said, we're just sharing what our standards are. Here's how we tell, and we categorize people into rookie, explorers, or pros based on their cardio, and here's what our standards are. I'm just curious to see if anyone else has anything else. Anyway, either or, here is our layer 2 cardio assessments. Now, we don't give people cardio training. We don't work with them in cardio until they pass layer 1 tests. So if you haven't seen or understand our layer 1 components, we need to move well first. We need to move well. We need to have good balance, coordination, mobility, stability before we start applying layer 2 things in strength and cardio. So very important, you need to earn the right to get to layer 2 first from layer 1. But I'm assuming everyone here has passed layer 1. They're doing really well. So here's our layer 2 assessments. Have a look here. Again, remember, we believe strength is equally important as cardiovascular capacity. And here you go. Please feel free to take a screenshot of this as I have a sip of water so you guys can have a look, see what's going on. So, sip of water. We test 2 things. We test the row and we test the 1 mile run. Okay, 1 mile run and the row. We see different results in both, and we'll talk about what the types of results are. But 2K row for women, anything over 8 minutes 55, you are a rookie. Anything over 8:55, you are a rookie. Anything under 8:10, you are a pro. For men, anything over 7:50 is a rookie. In between is explorer, and anything under 7:05 is a pro. You can see the standards there for men over 50 and 60. Those standards, if you want to know where we got those standards from, they were taken from the Concept 2 rowing times. The pro category times are on the top 25th percentile of participants who've been through thousands and thousands and thousands of these indoor rowing championships and tests. That is what we have, and this is what we got. That's where those times were taken. Okay, so who here is a pro on the 2K row test? Or who's a rookie? Or an explorer? Who's done the 2K row test? Just share, don't worry, I'm not accusing of anything, not bad people, just certain standards that we adhere to and what we have. And so those are our 2K row tests and our standards. Anything for men over 7:50, you are a rookie. Anything for over 8:55 for women, you are a rookie as well. And the tests there for over 50 to 65. So who's going to be brave enough to share, or who has done the 2K row test? Who would like to share what their results kind of are? Who's a rookie? Who's a pro? Who's an explorer? We're all friends here. No one's judging. We're just kind of curious to see how you guys get on. Okay, Chris exploring the row. Cool. Todd is an explorer. Fantastic. Marx has not done any yet. James haven't done it yet. Saturday, explorer. Cool. We've got lots of explorers in the house. Sweet. All right, cool. So there you go. So that's an idea of where we are with the 2K row test. That tells us what's going on here. So let's go down to the 1 mile run guidelines. This is where the tests become a bit more subjective, because this is based on years and years of experience of helping people run 1 mile. Hundreds, thousands of people we've trained, personal clients over the years, and what we just came up with. So I'll stick to the under 50 categories. You can see the over 50 categories on here now. So if you are a rookie, for men under 50, it's anything over 8 minutes. For women, it's anything over 8:30. For pros, we need to be running miles under 6:30. For women, under 7 minutes. Who here has tested their 1 mile run test recently? Who here has tested their 1 mile run test recently? Who thinks that's achievable? Who thinks that is achievable? All right, Todd says last test was 6:20. Greg says Explorer over 50. All right, there we go. Not recently, PR's Explorer, fantastic. And James. Chris says Pro. All right, we've got some Explorer and Pro people in the house here. Fantastic. All right, cool. So now, this is just our beliefs. This is just our system. This is the framework and guidelines. We can tell very quickly where people are at. Our philosophy is quite simple. You should be able to deadlift 2 times body weight, and you should be able to run a mile under 6 minutes and row under 7:05. Those are our standards. That's what we want everyone to adhere to and be able to do so at a drop of a hat. That's what we try to help people achieve. We know it happens. This is what we train people for day in, day out. That's the standards we want to hit. So we strongly believe that, from our strength test from last week, from the cardio test here, that it's just a simple way to think about it. We think any human being can become pro and rookie in running and rowing, as well as lift 2 times body weight. For women, 1.5 times body weight, plus lift body weight overhead and all these wonderful things. As a human being, we want to do a range of modalities and do them really well. And just from our training, from our experience, these are our standards. These are cardio tests. So we know some people may struggle to get these to begin with. That's okay. The point is, I'm going to help you get on your way very soon to show you how to get to the next level. Okay, so bear in mind, if you score a rookie in either of those 2 tests, you are a cardio rookie. If you score a rookie in either of those tests, whether it's rowing or running, you are a cardio rookie. You need to get pro in both to achieve pro level overall in layer 2, plus achieve pro on our strength standards. But we're going to help you just interpret some common results and things that we see across the board. Let's give an example. We see this all the time. You're a rookie row and you're a pro runner. Quite simply, this indicates a good cardiovascular system, but tends to show a lack of strength in the squat, hinge, and pull movement families. Again, sweeping generalization, okay, but just bear this in mind. This is what we tend to see from time and looking and working with people. Or it just means you have really bad rowing technique, because again, rowing technique does come down to it's very, very important. So those are the things that we see from time to time again that pop up over and over. What happens if you score a rookie run on a pro row? Well, again, this indicates a good cardiovascular system, but there are probably postural factors, old injuries, and locomotive movement pattern deficiencies present. So we need to look at the overall picture, how the person's moving, and see what's going on. So you can get both, one or the other, a rookie and pro in both. So this is what we're trying to talk about now is, okay, this is what tends to happen. This is what we tend to see. So if you are rookie in one and a pro in another, or exploring one and pro in another, these are some of the reasons why that may be. So remember, if you've got a rookie in anything, a rookie is a rookie. Still with me? Are you guys still with me? Still wanting to learn more? Or should I turn off the laptop now and stop doing what we're doing? All right, have another sip of water. Who here is learning something so far? Who's still here and still learning and thinks this is kind of good information? Or it could be old hat. Hopefully this final section will be good, useful stuff for you guys to take away. All right, so secret number 3. There are 2 main principles for effective cardiovascular plans: blood flow restriction and programming recovery. This, people, is our secret sauce. This is how we help people get to where they want to get to cardiovascularly. Blood flow restriction and programming recovery. Key things. Those are our two main principles. Blood flow restriction. This doesn't mean taping up stuff around your arms with floss or doing anything else to restrict blood in that way. No, what we're doing is restricting the amount of blood going back to the heart during a CV training session. Okay, we're restricting the amount of blood to go back into the heart during a CV session. This will make sense very soon. Very, very important. Number two is we're programming your recovery. We're programming recovery because, like a deadlift cycle, like a strength training cycle, we want to improve your ability to recover faster. And what both these two methods do is they help us improve the body's ability to remove lactate for faster and improved performance. What we're doing with by programming recovery and helping the body remove and blood flow restriction, we're teaching the body to recover faster and allowing it to remove lactate quicker for improved performance. What do I mean by lactate? Well, if you ever tried running as fast as you can and then suddenly your brain says stop, slow down, we're trying to prevent that voice from coming into your head sooner than what it should be. Okay, we want to try and increase the time that voice in your head comes, hey, stop, don't do what you're doing. But that is what lactate is. It's the chemicals sending to the brain, saying, hey, slow down. There's too much lactate in the body. We want to improve the body's ability to remove it as fast as we possibly can. So that is the goal. That's what we're trying to do. So when we're talking about rookie cardio programs, it's really, really important to understand these common training principles. If you're a rookie in cardio, and this is what we're talking about today, is you need to make sure that a cardio plan is fun, because guess what? Cardio can suck. Cardio training can suck. If you don't like it, you've never done it before, it can suck. So we need to make sure it's fun and enjoyable. It needs to be consistent. We need to explore pace. We need to make sure it's fast, steady, slow, play around with understanding what pace is when it comes to training. We need to make sure we're having dynamic recovery. This is where we program recovery. And we need to make sure there's a structured pace programming guide, okay? So if it looks on a chart, if we're using RPE, the rate of perceived exertion, as our modality and how we're testing things, because we don't like using heart rate monitors or watches over here. We prefer using the one's own body to calculate it. The point is that if we're using 1 being go as slow as you can, make it easy, 10 being super hard, we need to get people a nice comfort pace, let's say 4, take them out of the comfort pace, bring them back under, bring them back over, and play around with this whole idea of comfort so they explore this type of session. That's the goal with a rookie, okay? We can't go into pros and explorers today, but you can still apply the training principles for your own selves today. But this is how we play around with a rookie training session. Now, remember, the point of blood flow restriction is to restrict the amount of blood that's going back to the heart, so we can improve the body's ability to remove lactate as quickly as we possibly can. So here is an example of a rookie training plan that involves blood flow restriction. So you are going to row 4,000 meters with your feet out the straps. With your feet out the straps. Who here can tell me why I'm asking you to row 4,000 meters with your feet out the straps? Any ideas? Anyone here done that before? Or is this a new concept? Excuse the pun of being a concept to a rower. Either way, exactly. Todd just said it perfectly here now. Works on technique. Yep, absolutely. So rowing with your feet out the straps is going to help you improve your technique so much so. It's going to be helping you generate power with your legs and having better overall technique. It's one of those golden cues and golden exercises where it helps people's technique without you having to coach them. So if you want to start rowing with your feet out the strap, please be careful. You may fly off the back of the rower to begin with, but over time you'll start building on your technique. But the other reason why we ask you to row with your feet out the strap is because we want you to jump on and off the rower pretty quickly in between sets. So you're going to row 4,000 meters with your feet out the straps. Next phase. Every 3 minutes, this is a rookie training program, by the way. Every 3 minutes, you're going to jump off and you're going to perform a leopard crawl. Crawl with your knees off the ground, back and forth, 10 steps forward, 10 steps back. You're then going to jump straight back onto the rower, and you're going to keep on rowing and get to that 4,000 meters goal. Okay, so row 4,000 meters with your feet at the straps to improve technique and get you moving on the rower, and allows you to jump on and off the rower as fast as you can. And every 3 minutes, you're going to perform a leopard crawl 10 forward, 10 backwards. What we're doing is we're putting the body under tension. We're restricting blood going back to the heart, and we're improving the body's ability to remove lactate faster. That's what we're teaching the body, to improve its ability to remove lactate faster by doing this. This is a rookie program. If you were an explorer or a pro, I would tell you to jump off your rower and do 50% of your max push-ups and then jump back on the rower. Give that a go. Let me know how you get on within 15, 20 minutes, okay? Because I promise you this now, it's not as easy as it sounds. So this is the goal. Every 3 minutes, jump off, perform a leopard crawl, backwards, forwards, and backwards. Repeat until the 4,000 meters is complete. Oh, let me go back to here. So make sure you repeat until the 4,000 meters is complete. That's session 1. Session number 2 is you're going to try and beat that time of 4,000 meters. That's the goal. You're going to try and beat that time of how you hit the 4,000 meters. If you want to do explorer levels, you try and increase it to 5,000 meters and play with push-ups in between. But the point is, this is an idea and a sample of a blood flow restriction program of what we're trying to do. Who here has tried anything like this before? Who thinks this could be easy? Cool. John says yes. Fantastic. The point is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a structure to your cardio training routines. This would suck. Yes, Greg. Yes. Yeah, it would do. This is the explorer level. So I'd definitely give this a go to see how it goes. But I promise you this now, you will improve your body's ability to remove lactate so much quicker, and it'll be worth it in the long haul. It's just one sample. We've got multiple programs like this, but the point is this is one sample. And we're creating structure for the every 3 minutes, and when we retest. So again, if you want to test and see how well it's improved, row 2,000 meters before you do this program. Day or so rest, and then go back into the program, do this 2-3 times a week according to the 5 essential factors. And in 6 weeks' time, give it a go, retest, see how you got on. That's just a way to measure to see if you've improved. Okay, so that's an example of blood flow restriction. They give an example of a rookie program for programming recovery. So we are going to row continuously for 21 minutes. We're going to row continuously for 21 minutes. Who here is thinking this would suck just by seeing this? Who think this is going to suck just by seeing this and sitting on a row for 21 minutes? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Just sitting here, just doing nothing, because it'd be very mindless. But we're going to make it more fun. Here's how we're going to make it fun. Now, this is for rookies, okay? And I'll show you and talk you through an example of how you can take it to an explorer level. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to row continuously for 21 minutes. Minute 1, row normally, no hard pulls. But when it comes to minute 2, you're going to do 5 hard pulls as hard as you possibly can. As hard as you can, and then drop back down for the rest of the minute. And when you get to minute 3, you're going to do 10 hard pulls as hard as you possibly can. Take your heart rate up as much high as you can. Let's build up that lactate threshold and take it as high as you possibly can. And what you're going to do is you're going to repeat that for the full 21 minutes. Remember, CV training needs to be over 20 minutes long. This is a rookie program for people who've never really done much cardio work before. And this is how you get them to do this type of thing on a rower. Okay? So, seeing as most of you explorers are pros on here, how would we monitor, how would we change this up to make it a little bit harder? Well, get a pen and paper, write this down, because you do the same program, except minute 1, you do 5 hard pulls. Minute 2, 10 hard pulls. Minute 3, 15 hard pulls. Minute 4, repeat. There's no rest period in between. 5, 10, 15, every 3 minutes, repeat until 21 minutes is complete. How does that sound? Give me a thumbs up if you've written that down and made a note of that. That's a sample of a rookie or an explorer program for when we're looking at programming recovery. All got it? Okay, cool. Here's what you need to do as well. here is what you need to do as well. When you're on the rower, and this works fantastic on the rower, like you can apply these principles to running as well. Running is a slightly different topic. We can talk about that. But when you're on the rower, you are going to change your settings to watts, okay? Because you're going to change the settings on the dial, go to display, click on units, and make sure the watts come up. Because on every one of those hard pulls, you are going to try and identify your max wattage the first time here. And on every hard pull, you need to make sure you're hitting that wattage on each and every time. Say it gets to 450. It means on all those hard pulls, you need to be hitting 450 each and every time. No ifs, no buts. You need to keep hitting it for the full 20 minutes. This is where it starts to suck. So 5 hard pulls, you get to 450, great. Then it comes to 10 hard pulls, you need to make sure you're hitting 450 or as close to 450 as you possibly can, and keep that 450 benchmark for the entire period. Give me a hands up if you know what I'm talking about, if this makes sense. It's easier if I show you on an actual rower, but please make sure you understand this and I'm talking here. This is where the magic happens, people. This is where the magic happens when programming recovery. Okay. That is what you need to do on every single session, then, is to make sure you're hitting that max wattage. You also need to identify your recovery wattage. When you're going to the rest of that minute, let's just say you've hit 450 on your max and your recovery rowing to the end of that minute is at about 100. You need to make sure that when you come back to that recovery, bear with me, Chris, I'll go back to that in a second. When you go back to that recovery, you need to make sure you hit this wattage. Let's say it's 100, okay? So every time you drop back down, we start you off to the end of that minute, you need to make sure you're hitting no lower than 100 watts, okay? No lower than 100 watts. Why? Because when it comes to week 2, you're going to bump that bad boy up to 110. This is where we start talking about programming recovery. So you're going to identify your max wattage and make sure you're hitting that max wattage each time. You're going to identify your recovery wattage. Week 1, you're going to come back down to 100. Week 2, it may go to 110, so you don't drop below 110. Week 3, 120. Week 4, 130. Week 5, 150, until you get to the point where you can't maintain that recovery. It normally is between 6 to 8 weeks, and then you retest to see how you've got on. Okay? Please, 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 give me a hands up, thumbs up if this makes sense, okay? It's like a linear progression to what we're trying to do when we're programming recovery on the rower, okay? 110 week 1, 100 week 1, 102, 110 week 2, vice versa. Now, if you're much higher, okay, that's an idea of a rookie. It may be less, it may be 5 watts you can increase it by. But the point is you need to work with what you have in between you. Chris asked, what impact would that recovery program have on HRV? Chris, in all honesty, I don't really know. We don't use HRV. What we try and do is, I see the benefits of it. I know lots of people who love that style of training. Our style of training is trying to make sure that we're trying to use technology as much as possible so we can get a better command of our own body, our own mantra. I love HRV. I see the stuff that Joel Jameson does. It's fantastic. We haven't tested it straight to that. We're looking at purely rowing times, rowing factors, numbers, and also we're looking at active heart rate and baseline heart rate, if that makes sense. Let me know if that helps answer your question. So that is an example program of recovery for rowing. Any questions here? Any questions whatsoever? Now, for those who are running over here, starting their marathon or doing anything they want to do, please add rowing into the equation as well. Okay, please add rowing into the equation as well. It will help. You just don't need to run and pound the pavements. Rowing is a good alternative to help reduce the impact of everything on your joints, and it does improve your time overall. Any questions so far on what we discussed? Is everyone okay? Everyone written it all down? All right. Anyone here running at the moment? Anyone here running at the moment? If so, just say yes. And would you like me to give a slight example of a running program? Todd says yes. Chris says yes. All right. Cool. In that case, I'll give a very quick running program. This is a very standard running program that we give to explorers, seeing as you guys are mostly explorers here. Remember, you need to do the level 1 tests to make sure you are an explorer, and you can have the right to go to strength and cardio training first. Very simple. You are going to go on a 6 kilometer or 4.5 mile jog. Before you do this, do it today, do it anytime you want to, before a separate day to your running, you are going to test your max push-ups. Let's say you can do 50 push-ups, okay? 50 push-ups max, that is your max. You're going to go for a jog. You're going to keep a certain pace, the pace that you feel comfortable at. Ideally, the hillier the better, okay? The hillier the better. What you're going to do is every 3 minutes, you're going to drop down and you're going to do 50% of your max push-ups. Every 3 minutes for that 6 kilometer or 4.5 mile run, you are going to do 50% of your max push-ups. Are you guys with me? This is a sample blood flow restriction training plan. This is reducing the amount of heart blood that goes back to the heart. Your arms and your neck will feel like Popeye halfway through you doing this, but I promise you this now, this is one of the fastest ways to increase your certain times, your run times, between 5 and 10 kilometers, okay? Because again, we're training the body to remove lactate faster. Give me a thumbs up, just make sure you understood this and you can hear me clearly to make sure you hear. Who's gonna give this a go maybe? I promise you this now, this is, you know, a great way to improve your cardiovascular capacity. It's a great way to improve your running. And I'd love to know how you get on because it sucks. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It sucks. It's the same program we used and I used. Without saying too much information, about 2 years ago when I tried to go for a run again after not being able to run for such a long time, my mile time was 8:37. I was like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? I'm currently at 5:27. That is my 1 mile run time. And that has been mostly done off programming blood flow restriction, okay? And running 3 to 5 kilometers around that. So what was the run distance was about 6 kilometers, which is about 4 miles approximately. I always have to convert between miles and kilometers. I mostly work in kilometers, but I know for a lot of people who don't work in kilometers. So that sounds horrible. I'll try it. Could you use other exercises in place of push-ups occasionally? Kettlebell swings, pull-ups, pistol squats? Yes, James, you can. Now we're getting into all sorts of fun, interesting conversations. We're getting to pro category levels. I don't want to share too much about that because it's, the reason we add push-ups is the main thing instead of pull-ups or kettlebells or anything else is because the equipment that's available to you. I want you guys to go out and run outside on trails. Ideally, do this in a trail run. You don't do this on pavement or concrete because that's just bad for your joints, full stop. Get on the trails, get in front of nature. We're going to try and keep it as simple as possible. Now, if you guys want a really horrible, okay, I'll give you this, okay? Who wants something horrible and nasty that they can do in the gym that they'd like to try out? John says, he gives a hand up. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to that rowing program. Okay, let's go back to that rowing program very quickly of this. Row 4,000 meters with your feet out the straps every 3 minutes, perform leopard crawls. Okay. Instead of 4,000 meters, do 5,000 meters. And what I want you to do is I want you to grab a pair of heavy kettlebells, ideally 224s. If you want to be badass, pick up a 32 and a 24 that's offset. Every 3 minutes, jump off and do 10 heavy front squats on the kettlebell. Jump back on, continue the row. For 5,000 meters, your goal is sub 20 minutes. Okay, you should be hitting sub 20 minutes on that thing. If you want to do that and give that a go, please let me know. But that is, I'd say, a mid-level explorer program on blood flow restriction for people who can enjoy that. It gets worse and it gets harder, but trust me, that is a very good one for you to try out to see how it works. And I promise you it does. Okay, so 5,000 meters, the time is to be done in feet out the straps, sub 20 minutes. Every 3 minutes, jump on heavy front squats. Okay, for women, ideally double 12s to begin with or double 16s, and for men, double 24s or double 32s. If you want to be badass and ninja, you go for 32-24 offset. Offset is one of the fastest ways to get you stronger when it comes to weights and kettlebells. Okay, so that is a bonus thing from me, from you guys today. How's that? Okay, any questions so far? Any questions? Who's enjoyed this webinar so far? Give me a thumbs up. Who's talking, learning stuff? Hopefully I've busted some myths, shared some ideas and tips. Maybe you haven't agreed with everything. That's okay. This is just our thoughts and our philosophy. And here, who's got some ideas for training plans that they can play around with now? All right, cool. Fantastic. So let's recap very quickly. My goal today was a bit of cardio myth busting 101. We lost a few people on that. I do apologize, but sometimes I can get a bit preachy on some of these things, but I just want to get those across and share those. There are a lot of common misconceptions in cardio out there. I just want to touch them today and go through them. I wanted to share with you the Strength Matters Layer 2 cardiovascular assessments. I want to help you identify whether you're a rookie, explorer, or a pro, whether you are doing enough cardio. So that's what I want to try and do and show you today. And the final thing I wanted to do was show you how to put the perfect cardio plan together for everyday athletes. Who wants the bonus secret? Who wants to know the bonus secret of putting all this together to making sure that they have a good cardio training plan together? For those who've been on before, they may have seen this before, but here it is. Accountability is the key to long-term health and fitness success. Accountability is the key to long-term should be health and fitness success. Accountability. Who would have thought that? This is huge, people. This is like, if you're doing cardio programs, it sucks. It's going to suck. You need to be accountable to somebody, otherwise you'll just easily just not do it because you want to default back to your strengths, particularly if cardio is your weak point. Here's the key thing and the key quote. I love this quote from Thomas S. Monson. When performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported, the rate of improvement accelerates. Okay, I love that quote. I think it's a really good point. Everyone needs to be held accountable with their own training. And apparently, according to the Harvard Business Review, you can increase your chances of success by up to 85% by doing just these three things. These three things can help you improve your accountability. Number one, here's the three secrets to success according to the Harvard Business Review and Harvard Law School. Hire a coach. Everyone needs a coach. Tiger Woods, all the top golfers, every athlete hires a coach. That's one of the secret number one. Secret number two is be a part of a like-minded community working towards the same goals. Be a part of a like-minded community working toward the same goals. And number three is you need to report and measure your performance on certain times and dates with somebody who's holding you accountable. Who can agree with that? Anyone here, show me some love. Who agrees with this? Who thinks this is important to any success long term? And everyone needs a coach. John said it to me best. He goes, James, who does your training? Me. Stupid guy, James. Get someone else to do it. I learned that from Dan because Dan has someone else coaching him. Very important. It was one of the best things I ever did. I no longer do any of my training. Fortunately, Phil McDougall does it for me. And I like it very much. So that's exactly what we do here at Strength Matters. This is how we do things, and we hold people accountable, put the ideas and stuff together, and make sure they're held accountable and part of a like-minded community. So let me ask you all a question. If you applied these three secrets today across everything about cardio training, do you think you could be successful too with your health and fitness, and also in particular your cardiovascular capacity? James says yes. Mark says yes. Everyone else agree? If you applied these secrets, Greg says without a doubt. All right. Todd says yes. All right. Phew. You guys learned something. Fantastic. Who's excited about what we just learned today? Who's excited about what we just learned today? All right. James, Mark, everyone's raising hands. Fantastic. Chris has raised a hand. Okay, cool. Who's feeling a little overwhelmed? Greg says my clients are in trouble. That made me laugh. Who's feeling a little overwhelmed with what we talked today? Or was everything okay? Did you guys understand what was going on? All right, cool. Everyone's feeling pretty confident. Hopefully I didn't make it too complex or too difficult to understand. So I know there's a lot of information to take in here today, and what I call it is like drinking from the fire hose. Anyone else feel like that a little bit? There's been a realm of information coming with you guys today. You don't quite know where to start. or is everything okay? All right, everything seems good. So, just a quick question. Who might need a little bit of extra help putting all this together? Is anyone here who might need a little bit extra help putting all this together? Because with your permission, if it's okay with you guys, I have a very special offer that I'd like to offer you guys today for listening to me babble on and putting this together. Is it okay if I share this with you today? Please give me permission. I won't share it if I don't get permission, but I'd love to share it with you guys. Just a special offer we like to do with everybody who comes onto our live webinars. I'd like to offer this because you guys spent the time to listen to me. So I would like to offer you guys a free 30-minute coaching call so I can personally discuss your current training plan. I want to offer everybody here a free 30-minute coaching call so I can personally discuss your current training plan with you. I'm putting the link in the box where you can book in. Bear with me. So let me put it in the box for you guys now. So it's a free 30-minute call. All I want to do is help you talk about what your current training plan is, what it looks like, share some ideas that are more relevant to you. I can't be more personal on these webinars. I'm going to share so much information, but I'd like to get on the call with you guys and share with you personally and talk to you to see if I can help and see what I can do to help you in between. Now, you'll also get to learn more about our Strength Matters personalized coaching programs, and I'll tell you about that if you'd like to learn more, but please don't worry. This is not a pushy sales call. It's far from it. It's the way we connect and do business. It's how we do things. I want to learn more about you. I'll be quite honest with you. If you want to start working this, our prices start at $249 per month. That's where we start. So it's not a sales call. I'll be completely upfront with you guys. Now, if you want to work with us, cool. That's great. If not, that's okay. But the point is, that's our prices. I'm being completely honest and upfront with you guys. That's how we do business. But I want to put things straight. I want to share with you guys, talk about your training plan, hopefully put you on the right track, get some ideas together, share some ideas, share some ideas, and just talk about things and put you on the right path. So all you need to do, is go to strengthmatters.com/free consultation. It's the links in the box here now. Book in for a call with me, and I'll speak to you personally for 30 minutes and see what we can do and see what ideas we can come up with and hopefully put you on the right track. And if you want to learn more about what we do, you can learn more about what we do. If not, don't worry, we part as friends, all is good. But here's a couple of people that are on the program who are working with us at present. That's Lydia, single mum, absolute ninja. We've done a video with her recently. I highly recommend reading it and seeing what she does. And then we have John as well, who's another one of our little ninja Jedis as well. So all you need to do, guys, go to strengthmatters.com/free-consultation. Book in with a free call with me, and I'll talk to you about your current training plan, see what we can do. And if not, that's okay. Don't worry about it. So, who is going to book in and have a quick call with me? Anytime. It'll be me personally, not the team members. It'll be me personally, and we speak with me, guy, and I'll talk to you and be honest about your training and see what ideas we can come up with. If you can, fantastic, do it. I can see a few have already on the page booking and having a look, see what's going on. I can't wait to see who the first person is. James just raised his hand. In the meantime, while a few of you are trying to find an appropriate time to book in and speak with me, who has got some questions that they'd like to ask here, and we can share and talk with the group. Please make the most of me. If you're not going to speak to me over the phone, then make the most of me here, and please, ask away. I'm here to help, guys. This is the whole purpose of these calls. This is why I do these webinars. I want to help you guys succeed in what you're trying to do. All right, I see Chris has already booked in for a call. Fantastic, Chris. I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Thank you for that, if you're still listening. Mark says, other webinars every week. Most weeks. We try our best to do webinars most weeks, Mark, to see what we can do. We try and choose a different topic within our hierarchy of athletic development. There will be another one next week. I'm not sure what the... I can't get the... I haven't got the topic right to hand here now, but I'll let you guys know tomorrow. And also, there's a replay that will be here very soon. Greg asks, don't know how to screenshot. Where can I get those charts you showed? Greg, which charts are you referring to? So I can probably help you. And also let me know what computer or device you're listening from. Maybe I can help you do that as well. All right, so Chris has signed on. Fantastic. Paul is signed in as well. Hey, Paul, thanks very much for jumping in. Looking forward to speak to you tomorrow as well. Anyone else going to speak to me tomorrow? We're all getting a bit shy. Don't worry, guys. If you don't want to speak to me, that's absolutely fine. It's okay. I'll catch you in another webinar. Okay, Rookie Explorer Pro times for run and row. Okay, Greg, no worries. What I'll do is I'll jump back now. Thanks, James. All right, cool, James. Booking for next week. Perfect. Look forward to speaking to you then. So let's go back. Hang on. I've got a better idea. What's enough cardio? Bear with me, guys. Let me get the screen back up. There we go. Let's get it back up. Excuse me as I sneeze. No worries, James. Thanks for that. There you go, Greg. I'll put the screen back up. Let me know what device you're using so I can help you try and work out how to screenshot that. If you're using an Apple Mac, it's Command Shift and 4. Command Shift and 4, and you just draw over what you want to keep. Oh, Android Galaxy. I actually don't know. I've never used a Galaxy to screenshot. If it's an iPhone, you're using the home button and the side button simultaneously. Anyone else here know who's using an Android Galaxy? Help Greg out. I think as well, if you go to the blog, the Strength Matters blog, Greg, if you go type in assessments, I think, or type in row, I think it'll come up in the search as well. So it may pop up there for you as well, just in case you can't. But also feel free that you'll be able to get access to the replay as well and be able to go back to the replay and over the next couple of hours to watch it and see what's going on. So there you go. Any other questions? Come on, guys, make use of me before I disappear in a couple of minutes' time. Please, if you're having trouble booking in now, please book in and talk to me. I'd love to speak to you. Any other questions? Remember, if I go all the way to the end, strengthmanners.com/free-consultation is where we're going to get to. Everyone's gone very quiet. I know there's people still listening and still watching. So keep on, guys. Tell me, fire away. I'm here. I'm here to ask anything and answer anything you want. Okay? Let me know what I can do to help. All right, cool. So one last time, if you guys want to speak to me on the phone, perfectly, please book in strengthmanners.com/free-consultation. Or any other questions you'd like to ask, please ask now. If not, we'll speak to you all very soon. Last 30 seconds. Last 30 seconds before I close everything down. It's your last chance to ask questions. Either way, thank you so much for listening today. I've really enjoyed it. I love sharing all this information, hopefully giving you some ideas on how to do some great workouts and put things together. So, as we say in Wales, ciao for now, as I say in Llandough. Have a great one, guys. Speak to you all very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, Todd says, thanks. This was great. Leaving town a bit, we'll check back. No worries, Todd. All the best, my friend. Have a great time.